Hey everybody, my name is MacLean, and I am an ambassador for MTV's Mental Health Action Day. This year, Mental Health Action Day is on May 18th, and we are shifting from connection and awareness to action. We challenge you to take 1 hour out of your day to support your mental health. I spoke with different people about how they are going to support their mental health. Take a look. I'm here with Brent Morin, who is a comedian, actor, joke crafter, writer. You have talked about your mental health,
Hmm.
and we did a show together actually, and you were on the panel discussion afterwards with Nami.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a heavy play, by the way. It really, really was well written. Very good.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
got
you.
deep on that panel.
Yes, you did.
It felt therapeutic, though. That was the interesting thing. That's why when you asked me to do this, I was like, yeah, there was something therapeutic about expressing that and finding out other people were similar. You know, you have that natural need, I think, when especially with depression and maybe a little bit of my Irishness to just kind of disappear into the woods like a golden retriever, just when they get sick, they go to the woods. And when I do, I shut my phone off and stay away, which, as my father says, is not a good idea.
You and I are both from New England.
Yeah.
And New Englanders are sort of seen as like these stoic, salt of the earth, tough people, and you don't complain and
Yeah.
you don't talk about things and you just go out and you shovel the walk and you shut up about it.
Yeah. And you have conversations with your friends that sound like arguments. And people think that that's what I've learned. I'm in Texas right now with some Texas friends, and if they're around me and my New England friends, they think we're in some huge fight. But really, we're just saying, like, where do you want to eat? What's your deal? Yeah, okay, let's go there. You guys want to eat now? They're like, you guys made up? Like, made up on what? We're fine. We're just we're
Yeah.
just going for it.
It's
It's
just
just
loud,
loud homes on
loud
Christmas.
talking. We just talk
Yes,
loud. It's not fighting.
exactly. I had a little bit like I feel really lucky because my dad was very open about mental health with me in a different way. Like not like how it is today, which is nice when people talk about it. But he's an older father, he's 78, and but he battled depression, and I always say it's a family business. To be honest with you, we all go through it in different doses. But with him, I was going through it, and he's my hero. I didn't want to talk to him about it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why I felt like I had to sleep in the hallway because I didn't want to be in my bed when I was in high school. And on paper, things seemed fine. I was a C student, so I had friends, and I was, I
Wait a
was,
second. Is that the hallmark of a C
oh
student?
yeah,
You have
there's
friends?
no pressure, there's no studying, but you still pass. Your teachers like you. You don't have to stay after school so you can hang out. I was a desk in the hall kid, so I was always with friends and got to go to the things, and I was always the jokester. But then I just remember always being sad and like waking up sad, and then I'd get depressed if I wasn't depressed. Like it was weird. I just thought that's how you were. I thought that's what it was
Hmm.
until I moved to LA at 18, and then it started hitting me a lot harder. And then I finally told my dad, I don't know what's wrong with me, but because on paper I had this nice childhood, a nice house, parents still married, brothers I love. He was very open with me. He didn't make me feel embarrassed. He goes, Brent, there's a thing that we have that's, genetic, it's clinical depression. I've had it my whole life. He goes, plus you're an artist, and to be a great artist, you have to be in touch with your emotions. So sometimes you'll be high and sometimes you'll be low. And he gave me some tools and told me it was okay to go on antidepressants. He didn't make me feel like a freak or embarrassed, because this is like 2004. It wasn't as popular to talk about it.
But something you said was interesting. You said that your dad said you're an artist, so you feel things differently. And
Feeling that same way where my cousin that I have sleepovers with doesn't go through this. He doesn't feel this thing. Like, cause I'll bring something up like, hey, you ever just cry? And he's like, what? Nothing, nothing. Let's watch, critters, and then I started realizing that it was whether I was painting or writing or especially with music, that I found it like a superpower. Like, oh, I'm depressed. And then I started seeing that artists and behind the music and that they had this thing. So when I was younger, I used to think like I used to get depressed if I wasn't depressed. I remember that in high school. Like I would be depressed that I wasn't sad because I thought I couldn't create something if I wasn't absolutely dark. And only recently I realized that that's probably not the healthiest way to live, Brent, is to think that you have to be miserable, Bukowski-esque, in a corner to create great art. And that takes seriously, that just takes time. I'm 36 now, so that takes time, medicine, and repetition. But yeah, I think a part of me, I think being in touch with that type of emotion just instinctually, just through birth, like probably allowed me to empathize more, with people. Later now, even with my little brother, not to throw him under the bus, but it's almost like it just hit him recently that now he's battling with depression and medicine, and he would talk to me about it. So now the way I talk to my dad, I was talking to him, and I told him, having high anxiety and depression can actually be a really good thing. And he goes, "How?" And I go, "Well, because you're going to be able to actually listen to people and hear their problems the way dad did with us. Like, dad was a great dad because he felt so much. And honestly, I don't know a lot of people that aren't intelligent that aren't depressed, because I think sometimes we overanalyze so much. Something that's been working for me recently is to not put expectations on curing it or making it, disappear by some goal in life, whether it be kids and a family or some big job that I've always wanted or some dream I had. Those things are unrealistic to happiness. Like, I realized that if I take the weight off, one day I'm just gonna feel like I'm freaking, on a painkiller or something, like everything's fine and I'm gonna smile for the next 30 years. You're gonna be miserable because you're gonna be putting expectations on it like a vacation. So I realized that it's day to day and
That's
everybody has their stuff, and that you just have to have a good day, whether that's a gratification journal, which my dad told me to do, which just write down things you're grateful for every morning, which I was doing, and he kind of Miyagi'd me because I thought it was stupid. I'm cursing him out as I'm doing it every morning. And then I realized, by day 10, I was like, yeah, my family does love me. I do have friends. I do get to do what I love for a living, and I was like, wow, this is kind of working. But that's that's advice I'd give to anybody, because my dad told me, I need you to say yes. Say yes to things this year. I want you to say yes. And I was like, ah. And
Brent, can
so
I
I
borrow
said,
some money?
what?
Can I borrow some money?
No. Okay.
What?
Yes. Great. Great. Thanks, Dad. But now I'm going to go to a ranch and feed a cow. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be fun or what did I do this for, but like yesterday I was swimming in a spring and I didn't want to go. I said no first. Everybody was like, "Want to go jump in the springs?" And I went, "No, I'm going to stay here." And then I went, "Yes, yes, I'll go." Had a great time.
If you want to find out more about Mental Health Action Day, please go to mentalhealthactionday.org or mentalhealthishealth.us.